New Year's resolutions. They carry this weight as if you have it all figured out, as if within the first couple days of the year, all your problems magically disappear. We spend the beginning of the year collecting self-help books, redoing our Notion pages, and making our vision boards on Pinterest. Although these things can be fun and helpful, it's important to be intentional with who you are and the things you do. So here's how I start my New Year's as someone who's trying to be a little bit more intentional. I'm just sitting here at the park right now. I wanted to go into something that I've been struggling with. I always say do things alone, do as many things as you can alone. I don't think I do enough hard things alone. Start a conversation with someone or make a friend in yoga class, something like that. It shows myself how much I've grown because now I'm able to do things that I used to struggle with very easily, and I kind of use that as an excuse. I tell myself that, oh, it used to be hard, so doing that is a step forward, when in reality it isn't hard anymore, and I should acknowledge that. Ooh, it's getting windy. I want to start living more in the present. I constantly think about the future and how my future is going to be, and I think that's a normal thing to go through when you are in your 20s. Everything you do in your 20s is supposed to set you up for your 30s and so on and so forth, and I think I'm just disappointed in myself because I don't have the life that I expected to have at 24. I would be lying if I said it wasn't draining. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm doing life wrong. Okay, we're back. I couldn't film in front of people. It was awkward. People already staring at me, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to succeed in the things that I want to succeed in this year. But I also want to be able to live in the present and not punish myself for not doing the things that I expected of myself. Just because life is so different, I shouldn't expect everything to work out how I want it to. Truthfully, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, and I want to have more of that mindset. I think another thing that will cause me to live more in the present is just stop doom scrolling on my phone. Yeah, if you're like me and in your 20s and you feel like you have no idea what you're doing, trust me, you're not alone. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, and I feel like I fail every day. Do hard things alone, be patient with yourself even if you fail, and stop going on your phone and scrolling through your phone telling yourself that you're a failure because a 19-year-old moved to a $10,000 a month loft apartment in Manhattan, because that's not the reality for most. But don't think you can't work towards that goal. You could genuinely succeed in anything that you want to. You just have to believe in yourself and be patient. Not everything in life is going to come to you right away, and nothing that comes that quick is ever worth it. So I hope you guys realize that, and I hope me saying that makes me realize that. Hopefully I'm able to succeed in the things that I want to this year. I have a lot of big plans this year, and I guess that's why I'm putting so much pressure on myself to get everything and to succeed in a lot within the beginning of the year, because at the end of the year I know my life is going to look completely different. Hence why I feel so uncomfortable in my daily life now, but I know it's all going to be worth it. At the end of the day, I don't want to be the same person I was last year. I want to be different, and in order to be that, I have to say goodbye to the things that made me comfortable last year and move forward, because I can't be a different version of myself if I do the same things. Food for thought. I'm gonna eat lunch real quick, and then I'm gonna apply to some job applications. Canned tuna, celery, diced onions, cube pie mayo, and sriracha. And then I'm having it with my favorite little snack, like candied frozen grapes. They're amazing. So I'm probably gonna just eat my lunch. It's gonna take probably about 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to go back to applying for jobs. I actually have a quick tip if you're applying to a whole bunch of jobs. So when I'm applying to jobs on LinkedIn or Indeed or Glassdoor, whatever you apply, then I'll have my TXT file for my resume right next to the actual job. When you save it as a TXT file, you could easily just change information. The thing that I change the most is usually my professional summary. That's like a quick little tip if you're applying in this crazy job market right now. I wanted to go into another big part of my intentions, my educational intentions. As an adult, one of my biggest struggles has been financial literacy, because even if I don't have the most money on this planet now, I think it's important to learn skills now that are going to relate to me later. I am going to get my bag up. Thank you. So Khan Academy has a financial literacy course. Thank you for sponsoring. No, I'm just kidding. And it goes into budgeting and saving, consumer credit, financial goals, loans and debt, goes into taxes and tax forms, which, girl, I can say I am 24. I barely know how to do my taxes. Like, I still to this day struggle with it. Saw that I was reading A Little Life. I'm rereading the book. I'm not in mentally, physically, spiritually really in the best place to read it, but I don't know, I feel like I need to like completely break. Like when you're emotionally raw, sometimes you're just like, I need to just like completely fall apart. I want to expand my vocabulary in 2025, and I want to stop using filler words and phrases. And I noticed that when I read more literature, I tend to expand my vocabulary. I use words like like, phrases, stuff like that is a phrase that I use all the time. I want to do that, and I also want to stop elongating my words. When I edit my videos, it's so bad because I'll be like, one reason is because I tend to think about the rest of my sentence as I'm saying the sentence, and I just want to make sure that what I'm saying makes sense. And also another thing is I question what I think about and say a lot, but that goes more into my confidence and my inability to be confident within myself, and also my inability to be confident within my vocabulary. Today involved a lot of hip openers. There's a lot of trauma that your hips tend to carry. This is something that I should expect because I decided to do 365 days of yoga this year. I was confronted with personal feelings that I had, and most of them were just negative thoughts about myself and where I'm currently at in my life. I understood that this was going to be the case, so I ended up adding some more intentions into my 2025 intentions just to combat those feelings. One thing specifically is to meditate and just sit with my feelings a little bit. I kind of struggle with doing that. I try to ignore my feelings. I'm still new to it, so I don't necessarily understand how to do it, but I'm trying, and that's all that matters. Another big spiritual intention of mine was to not react as much. I practiced that a little bit today because I actually got very emotional in class. I didn't want to all cry in the middle of this yoga class. It is very hard to feel like you can't react to things, but I noticed that me reacting to things prevented me from being able to confront my feelings and emotions. I think today, if I were to actually cry in class, I don't think that would have helped me confront my emotions well. I ended up coming home and taking a shower, doing a little bit of self-care, did my essential oils and my incense. Now I'm probably going to practice a little bit of meditation to help me practice patience and reactivity. Depending on how my meditation goes, I will probably actually do a couple more hip openers, and hopefully with the hip openers, and if I do get any negative emotions, especially towards myself, I could practice my other intention of 2025, which is to be kinder to myself. Some of the things that I say to myself, if anyone talked to me like that, I would be in jail. No amount of spirituality can stop a needed ass whooping. Crickles and crackles. My hips are so tight. I grew a lot in 2024, and with that growth came new expectations. How I expected myself to look, who I expected to be, and what I expected myself to do. Around the holidays, I feel confronted with my successes, but also my failures, and these confrontations make going into the new year a little more difficult for me. Success is not linear, and it's not determined by a date on a calendar. I fail to realize that my self-worth does not depend on the New Year's resolutions or intentions, as I like to say, but my willingness to acknowledge what I need in the present moment. And right now, that is to take life a little slower and to be patient, waiting on the outcomes to the sacrifices I've made within the last year. If you're like me and don't know what you're doing and can only focus on the negative thoughts in your head, sit down, take a breath, and realize that it'll all work out. Your life doesn't start or end at the beginning of the year. You have plenty of time to figure it out. So go slow and enjoy the ride. I promise it'll all be worth it.